What is happening, party people? I want to welcome you to this week's training. Now, what we're going to be covering this week is how to optimize and scale funnel expense leads. So we're going to go into the nitty-gritty part of it. We've gone through how to launch the ads. Now we need to work on building things up so we can really build up some solid momentum. Now, what we're going to be covering this week, we're going to be going over how to read ad performance, when and how to make changes, scaling strategies that actually work, and common mistakes to avoid. These are going to be some key things to help us have success out of the gate. There's three phases to this process. One is testing, second is optimize, the third one is scale. Now, testing is launch a campaign basic, basically launch a campaign. We've gone through that a couple times. Optimizing, making small, minute changes, just to kind of tweak and improve the campaign. And then lastly is scaling, increasing budget and expanding what's working. Now, key metrics. These are the key things you want to pay attention to with your ads so you can make a educated decision on what to scale and what not to scale. Cost per lead, which is CPL, click-through rate, cost per click, conversion rate if you're using a landing page, and lead quality. Do they answer or respond to your messages? So these are the five key ones you want to stay on top of. Now, when to optimize? I would wait 72 hours before making any changes. Now, from our previous trainings, we talked about waiting a week or so. That's only if you have a small budget. So if you're starting off with like $5, something like that, you would want to wait a couple more days. But if you're doing, say, 20, $30 a day, 72 hours would be a sufficient enough time to be able to decide which campaigns are going to work and which ones aren't. Now you want to review the click-through rate and also the CPL, your cost per lead. If your cost per lead is high, and your click-through rate is low, make one small change at a time, whether it's the copy, the image, or the targeting. Those are some key things there. Just pick one, by the way. Now, what to tweak first? We have a couple different options here. The image/video, which grabs the attention, the headline, which speaks to the buyer's pain or goals, the primary text, builds curiosity and trust, then targeting. Broad is often better for funnel expense. So these are four different areas that you can tweak to help improve your ad so that you can scale successfully. All right, next, scaling strategies. We touched on this briefly, maybe a couple months back, but you can scale a couple different ways. One is horizontal, next is vertical, and next is geographic. Horizontal means you're duplicating the ad set and adding in new images or text. So duplicating what you already have, changing the image of the text, that will be considered horizontal scaling. Vertical scaling simply means increasing your budget slowly, 10 to 20% every other day. So every 2 days. You can't just double your ad spend. You have to gradually increase it so that Facebook doesn't reset its algorithm. So you want to keep that same momentum if it's already working. And lastly, geographical scaling, adding new licensed states or zip codes. So it's adding in more areas. I would actually honestly recommend this one over the other two because adding more states is just going to add, more fuel to the fire. So that definitely help you out. Now, here are some key things you want to avoid and just kind of stay on top of. Editing too often. This kills the learning phase of Facebook. Like I said, you want to make sure that you're making one tweak at a time and don't continue to make tweaks. Give it time to optimize. Increasing your budget too fast. 10 to 20% is the benchmark. Do not increase your budget more than that. So if we're spending, let's just say $10 a day. I want to make this math really easy. Don't go from 10 to 20. You go from 10 to 12. And then from 12 to 14. You just gradually work your way up that way. Making too many changes at once. Only make one change at a time because you'll only be able to see which change improves if you do it once. If you do it multiple, you don't know which change actually improves the ad. And lastly, not tracking the lead quality, just volume. That's important too. You want to make sure that you're tracking the lead quality, the response rate, the pickup rate, your close rate. That's going to be very vital. So you can determine whether you need to add a few more filters or maybe the quality's good out of the gate. All right. Now, tools to track and optimize. Facebook Ad Manager, of course, that's where you're going to build your ads. Google Sheet or CRM. This is going to be important. You want to be able to store your leads and pull them off of Facebook. You can use Go High Level for follow-up and conversion tracking. There's a couple other platforms you can use for that, but High Level is a good one. And lastly, Calendly for booking. If you have High Level, you can use their calendar. But if you're using the Google Sheet, you can use Calendly because both of those are free. And that's just for when people going in and scheduling in. So the calendar link is going to be helpful because those people who schedule in are going to be a lot more interested and a lot more qualified. All right. Action steps. I always like to give you all steps that you can take moving forward. So first, review your click-through rate and review your cost per lead and response rate. If you already have a campaign running, go ahead and look at these metrics here and see what they are. Two, make one small change if needed. If you have a high cost per lead, make a small change based on the list I gave you earlier. Whether it's the image, the targeting, the um, the audience size, there's a couple different things you can tweak there. The increase budget on your best performer. Now, if you have an ad that's performing well, increase the budget 10 to 20% only. So you're spending, like I said, $10 a day, bump it up to $12 a day, and then we'll gradually work and see how the ad's performing from there. And lastly, log your results to track improvement. This is really vital. You have to track everything, and that's the only way you be determined if your ad's performing well or not, is just seeing what the metrics tell you. So that is going to be important. Now, if you want, after you go through and check these metrics and you see what they are, you can 100% post them in the group. You can tag myself, and I'll be happy to answer any question that you have. Because I know once you get this dialed in, you can really crank out some major value. No question. Awesome. So that's kind of all I got for this week's training, covering, what we covering how to scale and optimize these final expense campaigns. Because I know once you get the campaign built, that's the easy part. Now we need to keep the momentum rolling. Now, this should be here. All right. Now next week, it's going to be we're going to decide what we're going to be covering as far as for the training. We'll go through that, and I'll probably put a poll in the group and see what you guys want to go over. But if you have any questions though, after seeing this training, you want a little bit of help, feel free to reach out to me. You can post or reach out to me in the group, the Break Free Agent Mastermind group on Facebook. You can reach out to me on Facebook directly. And if you want to send me a DM, it's Christopher T. Kennedy. You can also check out our website as well, bfamastermind.com/home_page. And you can even schedule a call with me too if you wanted. And that's if you really want to get into the weeds, have me look at what you have so we can really, really get this thing going for you. So feel free to click that link and you can 100% hop on a call with me. But awesome. Well, look, party people, I want to thank you so much for watching the training. I hope this was helpful. If you're watching the replay, feel free to post any question you have in the comments. If you're on YouTube, feel free to join our Facebook group. The link will be in the description because we always push our training like this every single week. So hope you all have an awesome rest of your day. Have a great one.